to highlight my under eyes. I keep my extra skincare and beauty products in these. Okay, guys, I'm done. That actually didn't take me quite as long as I thought it was. Than I usually do, but we're gonna rock them. We're gonna try Covergirl Intensify Me Eyeliner. I had a really hard time working. I still can't get it open. Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Maria Nicole, and if this is your first video, you haven't missed much because this is only the second video I have made. So I'm very excited that you're back. If you haven't already subscribed, please take a chance to do that. If you missed my first video, I did a FabFitFun unboxing. It's my favorite subscription box. So I will link that down in the description box. Take a look at it. You'll see some products that I'm really excited about. But then I was deciding, okay, I know I want to do a makeup video next because it is a beauty channel, so we got to do some makeup. And I also figured I'd take this opportunity as kind of a get to know me. I'm brand new, obviously, to YouTube, so I wanted to share some things about myself. So I decided today we're gonna do a drugstore makeup video. So I have a whole range of different goodies. I have some actually new to me first impressions that we're gonna try out together. Some of them are new, and some of them have been on the shelves. I've just never tried them. And I also have some favorites of mine, and we will get started. One thing that we're going to start with is the Revlon Prime Plus. Now this is a new product. They just came out with 3 of these. I have the mattifying and pore reducing. There is also a perfecting and smoothing and a brightening and skin tone perfecting. So I'm just going to put a couple pumps of this. I'm an oily skin girl, especially in the summer when I'm out. We're just going to go put it on. I have a lot of texture in my face. I have redness. I have large pores, and anything that's mattifying for me, anything that's pore filling for me is always going to be a favorite. It's a little bit thicker than I imagined for some reason, but I'm actually liking it so that it can smooth out my pores and just give me that nice base before we move on to our foundation. So far I like it. I will let you know down in the description box how my makeup wears throughout the day, because that's always a true test. It could feel great going on, but then it all smears off by the end of the day. Let's keep going. So next I have this Real Techniques sponge. This is a lot of people consider it a dupe to the Beauty Blender. I actually think I might like it just a little bit better. I think the actual texture of it feels just as great as the Beauty Blender, but I actually like that it has a flat type bottom as to do all over your face, and then it has the cone at the top to do your under eye concealer. So I really like these. You can get these at CVS, I know, and you can also find these a lot of times at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. I have been wearing this BB cream quite often. This is the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB cream for oily skin, so that works really well for me. Also, right now, being in quarantine, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this while we go. Being in quarantine right now, wearing a mask all day long, I don't really find that I like wearing a full coverage type foundation. So we're just gonna go ahead and blend this out. Get my mirror here too. If you don't like applying makeup with sponges, that's absolutely okay. I have been liking them more and more recently. You can also obviously still apply makeup with your fingers or your, if you have a favorite foundation brush. I have been gravitating towards the Beauty Blender type products more and more recently. This foundation is a light to medium foundation, just so that you're aware. I do find that it's buildable, so when I go out to work most times, I typically just use this one layer, but if I am looking to do a more full coverage look, I'll put a little bit on right here, basically where I just have more redness, and I find that it builds really well. This does wear throughout the day for me. Well, I'll let you know again how it does with that Revlon primer underneath it, because that is the first time I'm using that. So I will let you know how that goes. Okay, next we're gonna move on to concealer. Now I have this e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. This is definitely a YouTube favorite. So growing up, I didn't know tons about makeup. I always was the girl that loved makeup, but I was also really, really tomboyish. I did sports growing up. I was kind of just a get up and go out the door in high school, and although I loved makeup, I didn't know tons about it, even though I definitely had the ability to. So growing up, concealer to me was just put some spots on some pimples, put your foundation and go. I didn't do this whole concealer look until probably like the last year. So I have more and more been doing this because I like to highlight my under eyes. I do wear quite a bit lighter in this shade than I would in a foundation, just because I like how it all blends out. So this is a step that helps me just contour my face. If I don't tend to wear lots of eye primers before I do my eye makeup either. So this, if I'm putting it on my eyelids, helps me just be able to skip that step. It's a lot easier. So I'm just working this out right above my cheekbones where it's going to highlight when the light hits it. It's going to just emphasize that area, give me light, bright under eyes. So I'm just going to do this under both cheeks. I'm sorry, under both eyes, on top of my cheeks, coming down my nose a little bit, and then just bringing that around bringing that around over my eye, giving me that little bit of base before we go onto our eye. e.l.f. is such a great brand. It is such an affordable brand. I have been getting lots and lots of things from e.l.f. Wet n Wild is the other one that is so affordable at the drugstore, at the grocery store, and they have some really great products. They have been expanding their lines incredibly. They're always coming out with new products, and I'm really always excited to see what they're gonna come out with next. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to setting powder. I said I'm in the sun a lot, so I need to set all of this down. The other brand I really like is Wet n Wild, very affordable. So this, their contour palette, it's got 2 shades in it, a highlight shade and a contour shade. So we'll use that contour shade in a little bit, but for right now, I'm gonna go in with this highlight shade just to, again, lighten and brighten my under eyes, set those down, make sure it's not gonna crease or stick throughout the day. So I actually mostly am using crown brushes today. You can find them online. They're fairly affordable. They're not drugstore products. I'll be upfront about that, but I do very much enjoy their products. I actually got them in a FabFitFun sale and have very much enjoyed them. I got like a whole set for not a lot of money, so that's great. So I'm just gonna bring this right under my under eyes a little bit just to set that down so that nothing's gonna move on me throughout the day. So I mentioned earlier that I was into sports growing up. I did construction type things growing up. So this is a change for a lot of the people in my life. So it's fun seeing their reactions to me doing this. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking, yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking, girl. But I'm finally just taking that leap and seeing, you know, I can have 2 sides of me. I can be the one that's active and doing sports and doing construction and having a full-time job. And I can also enjoy makeup and doing tutorials and sharing what I love and sharing what I don't love with you. I can absolutely have both of those things in my life. So now that I've got this on, we're gonna go into an all-over setting powder. So this has been around for forever. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, but I honestly have never tried this before. So I got it in light medium. I hope it's not too light, not too dark. We're gonna find out how it works. If I'm smart enough to open it. Ugh. Guys, guess what? It twists. It's so easy. I don't know why I didn't see that. So you can use this as just an all-over foundation powder, especially if you're looking for a lighter type look. I don't tend to do lots of powders as my complete look for my foundation, but some people love it. I did have a Bare Minerals stage where I did that, and I actually really like their products. So just use what works for you. And I'm just going to use this as a setting powder all over my face. I did get a little bit of a tinted one. That's why I got it in a light, not a super dark shade, because it's just going to add a little bit more coverage also as I go. So I'm just going to brush this all over my face with a nice big fluffy brush and just set everything down. It's always good to have a nice canvas to work with before we move on to all the pretty colors. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can hear my cat pawing at the door, but she's never allowed in this room, and she hears me in this room right now. So she really wants to go sit in the windowsill, so I'm gonna let her in. Okay, now we're back, and I have her watching me in the windowsill on the other side, so it's kind of fun. Okay, now we're gonna move on to brows. I have more tan-based skin, I have dark hair, so I've always had dark brows growing up. I have thinned them out some. I definitely, growing up, I was bushy eyebrows. I look back at some of my pictures and I was like, girl, what are you doing? But you know what? I was myself, and that's fine. I didn't care. Still beautiful. No matter how your brows look, you are absolutely beautiful. But in my adult life, I've been taming them down a little bit better. And I think they're actually somewhat thinning as I go. So I actually have to do more with my brows than I did previously. So what I'm going to be using is a Covergirl product. You'll see I have a few Covergirl products. They're one of my favorite drugstore brands. This is the Covergirl Ultrafine Brow Pencil. So it just has a product on one end as well as a spoolie on this end. So let's just go in. We're gonna spoolie those brows exactly where we want them. This is a really good product. If you watched my unboxing video, I opened a Winky Lux high-end product. This reminds me of that one. A lot of people say it's also a dupe for the Anastasia brow pencil. So I'm just gonna outline both sides of my brow just to give it that look that I want to, and then I'm gonna go and fill it in with bristles just to give it a soft, somewhat natural touch. Oh, hi Oreo. Are you making an appearance? Okay, go. Oh, she sees the light from my mirror and she's trying to play with the shadows. Okay, get down. Get down. We'll see how that works. So what were we talking about? So we were doing brows. We're gonna go ahead and feather them in. So while we're doing my brows, one of the reasons why I love drugstore products is because I am a deal shopper. I absolutely love shopping and using coupons, using different sales and deals, rolling deals into one another. So I love being able to get drugstore products that way. A lot of these that I've been getting at CVS. I also like Walgreens and Rite Aid, other drugstores. I of course love to shop at Target and Walmart, but I do find that CVS has my favorite rewards program, the extra care bucks. I think I mentioned them in my last video. So I like getting them. I can roll them into each other, use them from week to week, and then save on all these products. So that's really great. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this one and then we will be right back. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the eyes. Eyes are always the funnest part of the look. I mean, let's be real. One of the ones I've been using recently is this little Covergirl quad. So this is in the shade Blooming Blushes. I like that it goes in. You have a really, really nice just matte transition shade. You also have a matte pink as well as a pinky shimmer shade and a highlight shade. I do tend to wear lots of pinks and purples. I like to do neutrals as well, but if I'm doing color, I tend to gravitate towards the pinky side rather than the blue side. So we're gonna go in first with this matte shade and just use it in our crease just as that transition shade. I like this palette, I like the colors. I do wanna make sure I'm giving you honest reviews. I do find a lot of fallout with these, so just know that if you're looking to purchase. There are some other palettes that I like better. I think e.l.f. makes some really good ones, but I do find that. It's gonna go in right in that crease just to give that transition shade. This is one thing, honestly, thank you YouTube beauty community, that I learned. If you go in with just a bright shade or a shimmer shade, you're gonna have a hard time blending it later on. But if you put this crease down, this crease shade down at the very beginning, that's similar to your skin tone but a little darker, it's really gonna help you just blend everything out later on. So I like to do that, just windshield wiper motions. You can blend it in as you need to. And it's just gonna give you that little bit of transition that you need later on. So next I'm gonna go in, I'm doing a fairly simple look today. I'm not doing too crazy. We are in quarantine and I have nowhere to go, but it's always still fun to at home have makeup on. So I'm just gonna go down with this little bit of pinky shade and put it down on my lid, and then we're gonna go ahead and put that shimmer shade over it in the corners. So this isn't terribly pigmented, as you can see, but for what I end up using it for, it works because I want it to blend in like that. I don't want it to be a stark pink, but if you're looking for stark pink, this probably isn't the best palette for you. But if you're looking something a little bit more easy to wear, more for every day, then this is a really nice look. So as you can see, I'm just putting it on the lid, but I'm also blending it right up into that other transition shade. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm going to take a little bit denser of a flat brush, and this is another crown brush. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into that shimmer shade. So I tend to go in with a little bit of my setting spray. We'll talk about this later. You can use water. A lot of people use the MAC Fix Plus. If you have that, it's great for it. But since this is what I'm using, since it's drugstore, I'm gonna use that. So I'm just gonna go in with that. It's just gonna dampen this a little bit so it applies better to your eye. These are also great to do with your fingertips sometimes if you're doing shimmer shades. If you haven't yet tried applying shimmer shades with your finger, go ahead and do it and see what kind of results you get. Most palettes, it's gonna apply better. So this one, as you can see, these are pretty small pans, especially the two, the pink and the shimmer. So it's hard for me to get my finger in there. So I am just going in with this blush. I'm sorry, with this brush. but just make sure it's a really skinny brush. If you can see, you don't want to use a fluffy brush for this. It's not going to go well. So I'm just using this. I'm starting at the inner corner, and then I'm just going to go out towards the middle. I'm not going to go all the way over, just into the middle. I'm actually going to go back in with a little bit of that transition color. If I had a palette with more colors than this, I would go in with one that's a little bit darker. But instead, I'm just going to go in with this flat brush. This is an e.l.f. brush. They make really good brushes, really affordable brushes. And I'm just going to pack a little bit of that onto my crease just to fill that out. So it is the same color as what I put on my crease, but since I'm packing that on, it's just going to add a little bit of depth, a little bit of dimension, and then just marry that in the middle with the shimmer shade that I'm putting on. I'm going to go back in with my fluffy one and just blend that a little bit to make sure everything just works together. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this eye with the same look, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's my eyes. You can see the nice pinks, shimmers, everything blending together. So the last thing we're going to do with this palette, what I really like is they give you this nice highlight shade. You could use this as an all over color as well, but on my skin tone it doesn't show up terribly well, so I use it as a highlight. So I'm going to go in with that right under my brow bone just to accentuate that a little bit. So you can see I did get a little fallout. That is my one fault with this palette, is just the fallout. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with that same pink shade right in the inner corner of my eyes, just to bring that out, brighten up my eyes. Now we're going to move on to what I'm actually the most scared about. This is an eyeliner that I have had. I tried it a few months back. I don't think I remember liking it. It's been a little while, so I don't remember why. But I figured we would pull it out. I would give you guys an honest review, see if I love it, see if I hate it. This is the CoverGirl Intensify Me Intense Black Liquid Liner. I remember why I didn't like it. All right, if you can see this, this is a liner, but it is completely flat on one side and then curved on one side. So I guess I'm just gonna go in with the flat part of the tip. Okay, yeah, this is a disaster. It's so thick even on the small side that it's not great at giving me just a really thin line. Okay, we're gonna see if we can go in and fix it and salvage it. I'm not usually one to just give up on a product, but I'm having flashbacks of me trying to make that work last time and it didn't go well. So I'm gonna instead just go over top with this Wet n Wild Mega Blast. Okay, I tried to make that work as best I can. It's just a really thin line with our mascara over top of it. You're probably not gonna be able to tell. I did go in with just a little bit of the shimmer shade on top of this to kind of clean it up. If anyone likes this CoverGirl Intensify Me liner, tell me how you use it. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I'm not doing it right. Let me know down there in the comments if you like this. So let's go in with mascara. So we're not going to do lashes today because I wanted to make sure this is a first impressions for me, and I wanted to make sure that I'm giving it a really good fair shot. So this is the Physicians Formula Killer Curves Mascara. I know this has been available for quite a while. It's not a brand new product or anything, but I've just never used it. So it's got a nice curved, you know, just a basic type 1 shade. This is a brown black, but let's just go in and try it out. So this one I think is smaller, so it's making it really nice to put on my lower lashes. I can just go in there with that little tip and I can build this up. So it's not clumping, it is actually defining my lashes really well. Okay, so I'm liking this. Again, it's not a black stark type product, but actually for what I'm gonna be wearing it for, I really like it. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is a bronzer. Trying a new Wet n Wild product. So this is the Coloricon bronzer. in the shade Palm Beach Ready. Now, I've used their bronzers before. This says new. I think it's the same formula, but I believe this is similar to one of their other shades, but this one is actually more shimmery. Now, you're gonna hear people tell you, why would you ever use a bronzer that's shimmery on your face? Don't do it. What I say is, do what you like to do. It's your face, it's your makeup look. If you like the way it looks, go for it. I tend to, with my all over bronzer, I like a little bit of shimmer, especially in the summer. It just gives you kind of that glowy type look. But then when I go into contour, you'll see I'm gonna use a non-shimmer shade. I do recommend only contouring with a matte shade. So I'm just gonna go in with kind of just that all over bronze. You hear people say do it in the 3. So 1, 2, 3. Just that shape. Just getting all those areas where the sun would in theory bronze your face. I do tend to use more bronzer in the summer. You're probably like, oh my gosh, girl, how much bronzer are you gonna put on? But it is summer, it is beautiful outside, it is like 95 degrees and it's sunny. So my face would be bronzed anyway, and this is just kind of helping it out. I had that Wet n Wild contour palette, so I'm gonna go in with the other side, the contour side. I don't think I said, I apologize. This is Dulce de Leche, and I'm gonna put descriptions of all these products down below in the description box if you're looking to pick any of these up. And that's where I'm gonna just try to chisel out. Probably should have put that hair back too, just to contour it. Make sure it's all blended. If you do find that you were too heavy on the contour, just go back in, do some swirlies, blend it out. Don't worry, you can always fix it. That's what I was always scared about. I was always scared to try different things because I was like, this is gonna be a disaster. But you can always fix it, so don't worry about that. Okay, so nice bronzy. I like it. I don't think it's too shimmery. You can see a little bit of shimmer. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I am liking it. It doesn't seem to be picking up my texture, which is really nice too. So now we're gonna go in over top of it with a blush. This is another Wet n Wild product. So it says new on the top. I'm not sure. I know I've had some of these before if they changed their formula, but this is Pearlescent Pink. I just can't open things. There we go. So really pretty. And as I'm doing that, I should have told you guys. So I have nail polish on, obviously, but you can see, especially for the YouTube community, I have pretty short nails. That is definitely for a reason. So 2 main things. I play the piano. So if I were to have really long, claw type nails, you're gonna get that like tap, tap, tap on the piano, which that's no good. I've never really been able to grow my nails out. I've been playing the piano since I was about 4 or 5. So I'm just used to them being smaller. Now I love always having a polish on them. Due to the nature of my job, I tend to not do too crazy of things, and I also can't grow them out for my full-time job. So I tend to keep them short. I do like to do fun colors. So I'm just going in with that blush right kind of over top of the bronzer. You don't want to do anything that's too just stark because you're just gonna have a line of pink and a line of brown and then a line of highlighter. So you do want to blend it together, but I like to have that nice peachy shade. I am a blush girl. It also, I have to put a little more on than maybe you might have to just because of my darker skin tone, but I do like this. I think it's gonna be a good everyday type look. It's not too pink, but it is showing up on my skin, so I'm excited about that. These are the Master Chrome highlighters. So they are a YouTube favorite. I see them a lot, and I don't know why, but I have never picked one up to try it. So when I knew I was gonna be doing this, I decided to do that. I don't know, can you see these little stickers? So, tangent. On this one, I spent like 20 minutes trying to get the sticker off. I've never had that much trouble with a sticker. Glue gun, nothing would work. I ended up sitting there with a little knife, like picking it off, like piece by piece by piece by piece. So then when I had more products, I was like trying to sit there, and I was like, you know what? I'm not ashamed I got them at CVS. I'm a real girl. You're a real girl. Why do I need to take the sticker off? Kudos to CVS. I would never steal this product anyway, but I certainly am not going to steal it to resell it, knowing that I can't get the CVS sticker off. So good job, CVS. Anyway, back to our regular scheduled programming. So this is beautiful. This is in the shade Molten Gold. So let's go ahead and swatch. Oh my gosh. That really does come off just like butter. I've heard 7 YouTubers say that, but it does. They know what they're talking about. Look at that. I'm so excited to get this on my cheeks. So, fun fact though, I don't know what I did with my highlighter brush. I don't have 27 versions of all my brushes. I only really had one that I used for highlight, and I can't find it. So we're gonna make this work. I must have lost them on like a trip, but I haven't been anywhere recently. I don't know. Maybe Oreo took it. Wow, can you see that? Even with this brush, which makes it apply even lighter than I normally would, it is still absolutely gorgeous. Do you see that catching the light? That is Glamosaurus right there. That is amazing. So I'm gonna try the little foundation brush on my other cheek and see if I like this one any better. And then I need to find a new highlighter brush. So if you have any recommendations, what's your favorite highlighter brush? I can check it out. Let me know down in the comments. Then I'm just gonna take a little bit of it, and again, just kind of like the bronzer, put it in those other places the sun is gonna hit you. So right down your nose, up here a little bit, Cupid's bow. Look, I have a mustache. Anyway, right here in your Cupid's bow. And that is just a gorgeous highlight color. Wow, I love it. Okay, what do we have left? Lips. I actually ended up getting this lippy. These also say new. I'm not really sure how new they are, but these are their matte lipsticks. And I've tried a lot of Wet n Wild products, but I don't think I've ever tried any of their lipsticks, so we're gonna try it out. Look how cute this packaging is, guys. Look at the little lips. It got me, and I think this was $2.99. So if I like it, it's definitely a steal. So this is in the shade Bare It All, and it is a nude color. So this is the NYX retractable lip liner in nude as well. I know this is also a favorite. NYX is a really inexpensive brand, also at the drugstore. So we're just gonna go ahead and line your lips. So on my top lips, we're just gonna go a little bit above my lip line just to give me a little bit more. Don't do anything crazy, but I'm just gonna go a little bit above, and that helps give me a fuller base lip. My bottom lip I've always been good with, but my top lip I kind of always just felt like would disappear. Okay, so now that we have that on, we're gonna go ahead and just fill it in with that lipstick. There are some mattes out there that go on really creamy and then they kind of dry down. I am finding this that it's dry right now. It's not overly dry. I like a matte lipstick because I tend to lose my lipstick throughout the day a lot of times, so matte is a really good choice for me, but I'll let you know in the description box as I wear it throughout the day if it was too drying, or if that made it stay really well. But I have this new product that I've been wearing almost every day. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Tinted Lip Oil. It's part of their Clean Fresh line that they launched not too long ago. It's just got a lot of those bad ingredients taken out of it. It is a vegan formula, and I have been wearing this all over. This is in the shade Fresh Squeezed, and I gotta tell you, if you pick this up, smell it. It smells just like lemonade. Okay, so last thing, you've got all this beautiful makeup, you need to make sure that you're setting it down. So if you're not familiar, I have a brand here called Joa. This is a K-beauty line. K-beauty is Korean beauty, Korean skincare. It has taken over in recent years. I personally am a fan of Korean skincare. If you're not already following me on Instagram, check me out. It's at @MarinaColeBeauty. I post a lot of my skincare products, my skincare routine over there, so you'll definitely want to check this out. But this is their Selfie Ready setting spray. Now they do have a matte version, that's what I got, Oily Skin Girl. They also have a dewy version. Joa Beauty is sold at CVS, so that's where I got it. As a drugstore brand. You can also buy it, of course, on their website, but I don't think it might be exclusive to CVS and drugstores right now. So I haven't tried this yet. We are going to just spritz it on. And again, I'll let you know how it wears throughout the day down in the description box. So if you're interested in this, I do believe this was like $9, so very affordable for a setting spray. You saw this is also what I used for my eyeshadow shimmer. When I applied it with that brush, I find setting spray really good for that. It just helps it to go on a little bit thicker and stay better throughout the day. So let's take this down. If you stuck around in this video with me, thank you so much. I hope you learned a little bit about me, you learned a little bit about makeup, or you just had a little bit of fun, you know, sitting there with your snacks on the couch watching YouTube. So real quick, let's just go through some of the hit or miss products. So some of the ones that were my favorite coming into it, I'll just review those really quickly. The CoverGirl BB cream and the e.l.f. concealer, I wear these two together all the time. They're definitely favorites for me. So some of the new things that I really liked this Revlon primer. I'll keep wearing it, keep trying it. Follow me on Instagram to see. I'll post something about how I'm liking it, but I'll continue to wear that. I also think the Joa setting spray could be really nice too, but those are both hard to tell right at first impressions without doing wear tests throughout the day. So we'll see how I like those. The other thing that I really liked was the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. I think it goes on beautifully. I think that it's probably gonna stay. And we'll see how it does. So the one thing that was definitely a flop for me was this CoverGirl Intensify Me eyeliner. I had a really hard time working with it. I didn't find that it gave me very black. It wasn't very pigmented. So even if you could see in this eye throughout the video, it just doesn't look crisp and clean. If I were going anywhere, I'd probably do a much better job of fixing that. But for right now, it's just you and me, so it's okay. But the tip, I find hard to work with. It's not for me. It's not my favorite. So it's probably just not something that I will use in the future. I hope you had a lot of fun. If there's anything else we want to see, please let me know. If you watched my first video, you know that I have a closet video upcoming. I'm making it into my own little beauty room. That is in full swing. I had to do this video first because I'm about to put everything in my closet in this room. So I'll have to put a picture of what this room looks like, but I wanted to get this filmed first. So keep an eye out for that. If you didn't subscribe yet, please hit that subscribe button. It'll really help me out and you'll be notified if I post that video or any other makeup videos. So thank you so much for watching and have a great night. Bye.